There is a specific type of pain that everyone knows. Someone says something disrespectful to you in front of other people, and you freeze. Your mind goes blank. You either snap back with something lame that makes it worse, or you go quiet, walk away, and spend the next 3 hours replaying it in your head, thinking of everything you should have said. I've been there, and I know how much that burns, not just in the moment, but afterward when you lie in bed thinking, why didn't I handle that better? In this video, I'm going to give you 5 powerful tips to handle disrespect in a way that is so calm, so controlled, and so charismatically, it's intimidating. Not because you're aggressive, but because you're unshakable. Let's get into it. Tip 1. The 2 types of disrespect. Not all disrespect is the same, and if you treat them all the same way, you are going to look socially clueless, even if your intention was to stand up for yourself. Before you react to anything, you need to identify which type of disrespect you're actually dealing with. Type 1. The harsh critic. This is the one nobody wants to admit. Someone calls you out, harshly, maybe in front of others, but they're actually right. Picture this, you show up late to a group dinner. Again, your friend says in front of everyone, "Dude, this is the 3rd time. It's actually pretty disrespectful to the rest of us." That stings. It feels like disrespect. But is it? If you're honest with yourself, no. That's feedback. And the worst thing you can do is treat fair criticism like a personal attack and get defensive about it. The charismatic move here is the opposite of what most people do. You don't deflect. You take responsibility. You look at them and say, "You're right. I'm sorry. That won't keep happening." Owning your mistakes signals more charisma than defending yourself ever could. Unfortunately, that only works for this type of disrespect. But there is another type, and this one is even more common and painful. Type 2. The real disrespect. This is when someone is actually trying to make you feel smaller. An insult disguised as a joke. A comment designed to undermine you in front of others. A dig that has no playful energy behind it. Just pure disrespect. For example, you're in a group and someone says, "I mean, what would you know about that? You've never really achieved anything significant." That's not banter. That's not fair criticism. That's someone trying to make you look bad on purpose. And this is exactly where most advice fails you. People tell you to clap back or ignore it. Both are wrong. Clapping back shows it rattled you. Ignoring it signals it was okay. The right first move for real disrespect: do nothing. Don't snap. Don't fill the silence. Just pause and hold eye contact. Not aggressively, but confidently, like you have all the time in the world. Here's a practical trick. Look for their eye color. Literally, it gives your brain a small mission which stops the panic spiral and produces the kind of steady, relaxed eye contact that is extremely difficult to hold in high-pressure situations. Most people will look away first, and the moment they do, they've already lost. But what comes after that pause is where the real techniques live, and that's exactly what we're getting into next. Tip 2. The calm redirect. Does this situation sound familiar? Someone says something disrespectful and you feel like you only have 2 options. Go quiet and swallow it, or blow up and risk looking unstable. Here's the 3rd option, and it's the one that genuinely puts you back in control. It's called the calm redirect, and the reason it works is that it completely sidesteps the game the other person is trying to play. When someone disrespects you publicly, they are almost always doing it for an audience. The insult is designed to land in front of other people. That's the whole point. The embarrassment is the weapon. So the move is simple. Remove the audience from the equation. Let's say you're at a work event. In front of several colleagues, someone says, "Honestly, I'm surprised they let you lead that project. Bold choice by the management." Most guys would immediately defend themselves. "What's that supposed to mean?" or laugh nervously. Both options give the comment power. One makes you look rattled, the other makes you look like you accepted it. So instead, do the following. After a short pause, you look at them, keep your voice completely flat and calm, and say something like, "That's an interesting thing to say. Let's find a minute to talk about that properly later." Then you turn back to the group and continue. Notice what happened. You didn't ignore it. You didn't fight it. You removed it from the public stage and scheduled it on your terms. Now the other person has to either follow up later, which most people won't because insults lose their power in private, or they let it die. The other person also now has to carry the awkwardness of knowing you're going to address it, which is often punishment enough. The calm redirect is perfect when you want to de-escalate without backing down, but sometimes that's not the right play. Sometimes the disrespect is so deliberate, so public, that redirecting looks like avoidance. In those moments, you need something sharper, something that makes the other person realize, without any drama, that they made a huge mistake. Tip 3. The community techniques. I made a video about how to handle disrespect. It got over 4 million views. But honestly, the comments were more valuable than the video. 500 people shared the techniques that actually work for them in real situations. Some were memes, some were stickers, but some of them were genuinely brilliant. And here are the best ones. Technique A, bad ears. This one is super simple, and it came up in multiple comments. When someone says something disrespectful, you look at them and calmly say, "Sorry, what did you say? I didn't quite catch that." And then you wait, with full eye contact. Most disrespectful comments are designed to land quickly and disappear. The person says it, gets a reaction, and moves on. When you make them repeat it, slowly, to your face, with everyone watching, suddenly it doesn't feel so clever anymore. 99% of people will either backtrack immediately, "Oh, I was just joking," or soften the comments so much it becomes nothing. And what about the 1% who repeat it word for word? Well, now the group sees exactly who they are. You didn't have to say a thing. This is the technique that can make someone apologize without you ever asking them to. Because hearing yourself say something disrespectful twice in front of people is its own kind of mirror. Technique B, questioning the insult. Another technique from one of the most liked comments was this. Instead of reacting, just look at the person and ask, without any sarcasm, without any aggression, "Did you actually mean that?" Flat, calm, but super effective. This forces them to take a position. If they say yes, now they've doubled down in public and the group sees their character. If they say no, they've just admitted it was wrong. Either way, you flipped the dynamic entirely. You went from the person being put down to the person holding the mirror, and you did it without raising your voice or getting emotional. Those are real techniques from real people who tested them in real situations. But here's the thing, all of these only work if you've already built a certain kind of presence. Because if you come across as nervous or reactive, even the best line won't land. The next tip is about the one thing that protects you from disrespect before it even happens. Tip 4, the clean environment. Have you ever noticed that some people almost never get disrespected? It's not luck, it's not their size, but somehow they seem to move through life without people taking shots at them. I used to think it was their confidence, their body language, or some invisible aura. And those things matter, but they're not the full picture. The real answer is simpler, and most people never think about it. If you are constantly getting disrespected at work, in your friend group, on nights out, the first question to ask is not, "How do I respond better?" It's, "Why is this happening this often?" The amount of disrespect you experience is largely dependent on the environment you're in and the people you choose to surround yourself with. If you spend most of your time with people who have something to prove, who use humor as a status game, who score points off each other constantly, you will be disrespected more. That's just the culture of that group. And here's what most self-improvement content won't say. Some of those groups aren't worth staying in. If you have a friend group where every conversation is a competition, someone always has to one-up you, every compliment has a dig hidden in it, and you usually leave social gatherings feeling slightly worse about yourself, then the best technique won't help you. But an environment change can. Audit your circle, not dramatically, not with a big conversation or an announcement, just honestly. Ask yourself, after spending time with these people, do I feel better or worse? Do they want me to win, or do they need me to stay small so they feel bigger? If the people in your life genuinely respect you, you'll notice you almost never have to handle disrespect around them. Charisma isn't just about how you respond to bad environments, it's about having the self-respect to build a good one, and that is the most underrated social skill of all. Alright, so you've got the framework, how to read the situation, how to respond in the moment, and what to build long term. But there's one more technique, and it might be the most disarming response to genuine disrespect that exists. Let's get into it. Tip 5, the bad day technique. Someone left a comment on one of my videos that I've been thinking about ever since, and it might be the most disarming response to disrespect I've come across. When someone says something genuinely disrespectful, an unprovoked dig, a comment designed to make you look small, instead of defending yourself, you look at them with calm, genuine concern and say, "Are you having a bad day?" No sarcasm, no fake laughter, just complete confidence and genuine concern. So here's how this could look like. You're out with a group and someone makes a pointed, unnecessary comment about something you said. That's a cute idea, but let's wait for someone who actually knows what they're talking about. Most people would get defensive or go cold. Either way, you've lost the frame. So instead, you do the following. You pause, you look at them, not coldly, but with genuine, slightly confused concern, and you ask them, "Hey, are you having a bad day?" What just happened is extraordinary. You took their attack and reframed it completely. Instead of them putting you on the defensive, you are now the composed, empathetic one, and they are the one who disrespects others for no reason. It removes any possibility of them claiming it was a joke, because you responded with concern, not hurt. It also puts the social group in a position where they're watching someone be disrespectful while the target remains completely polite. Most people who receive this response will either apologize immediately or get deeply uncomfortable, and uncomfortable people always reveal their character. The best part? You never had to win anything, you just rose above it, and that is far more intimidating than any comeback could ever be. Congrats, you now have 5 tools for handling disrespect with real charisma. But I know, some of these feel harder to do than to read, and I know that in the heat of the moment, when your pulse spikes and your mind goes blank, the fury often disappears. That's normal. That's human. But the more you practice these in low-stakes moments, the more they become automatic when it matters. You don't need to be loud to be charismatic. You just need to be unshakable. And if you want to go deeper on this, if you want a full system for building this kind of charisma into who you actually are, I've built something for that. It's called the Charisma Code. It's the blueprint to charisma for people who are serious about building unshakable social skills. 85% of your success in the workplace comes from your social skills, while your technical knowledge only accounts for 15%. In other words, your degree might get you in the door, but your charisma is what decides if you'll actually succeed. So start taking advantage of this. Unlock the Charisma Code, the link is in the description, and if this video helped, subscribe so you don't miss the next one.